Hey guys, Chantal here from RapidStudio. This video today is especially for our professional photographers who enjoy creating your artwork outside the RapidStudio ecosystem in your own design software, whether it's Photoshop, InDesign, something else. This video is how to set up your pages and your artwork perfectly so that when we receive it at the factory, it's exactly the size that we need to print your book perfectly and hopefully knock the socks off your clients. This is the long version of the video, so if you're doing it for the first time, sit with me through this. I will create a short version if you want to try and get through it a little bit quicker. And this version is for ultimates. The processes are slightly different for our ultimate albums versus our hardcover photo books, because our ultimate album artwork is prepared as double page spreads, whereas our hardcover artwork is prepared as single pages, and that makes the process a little bit different. So here we are on Ultimates. Thanks for joining. Let's dive in and see how it's done. Here we are on the RapidStudio website. Now we need to find the page where we can upload our own artwork. There's two places depending if you're making a hardcover photo book or an ultimate album. I'm going to make an ultimate album first to demonstrate to you. This is where you'd normally go if you were using the editor, but if we're importing our own artwork, we need to click this little blue hyperlink here. That's our calculator, and import our artwork. And what that's going to do is take us to a place where we have a blank album template waiting for the JPEGs that you're going to work on to load. But the first step is to be able to, so I'm just scrolling down, to be able to set up your page sizes in your preferred program with the right dimensions for our printing standards. So for the ultimate albums, you just click on that hyperlink and then scroll down until how to create your photo book in alternative design software. And then there's step-by-step instructions on how to do this. So this is kind of what I'm going through now. I'm going through these step-by-step instructions with you on video. So they're there in written form for you to go back anytime that you need to do that. But the very first thing you need to do is choose your album size. I would like to make a 200 by 300 landscape today. So that's that one there. So then I'm going to scroll down to this table here, down to my 300 by 200 landscape, and I'm got this great table that is going to help me. So in column A, it's going to be the bleed, the amount of bleed I need on each side of my page, remembering that ultimate albums are prepared as double page spreads. A little note about that up here. Whereas our hardcover albums are prepared as single pages. So that's very important to remember. Ultimate albums you're preparing as double page spreads. And for my 300 by 200 landscape, I need 1.5 millimeters of bleed on the top of my page, bottom, left, and right. So then the trimmed width of my double page spread is going to be 600 mils. Obviously 300 is with the book closed. That's the face of the book and that's how it's going to look. But the double page spread is going to be 600 millimeters, and the trimmed height is going to be 200 millimeters. However, if you go to the right-hand columns, D and E, they're the real kickers because they will add your bleed for you. So finished final width including bleed, 603, which is my 600, plus my 1.5 on the left, 1.5 on the right. That'll give me 603. And then same for the height of my book. Need that 1.5 on the top, 1.5 on the bottom. That'll give me 203 for my height. So now I'm going to go and plug those dimensions into my program that I'm going to use. And today I'll be using Photoshop, but if you use InDesign, I'm sure you know where to find the page setup place on the program that you like to use. So here we are in Photoshop. We're going to choose New to create a new project, and we've got our page set up here. Make sure you're in millimeters, and you're going to pop in the width of your book, which is 603, and 203 for the height. And make sure that you are in pixels per inch, and we want that to be 300. We're working in RGB color. I'm sure you use these settings anyway, sRGB on this option, and you should have square pixels. You should always have that, I think, as far as I know. Now you've got your workspace. We want to add our bleed and our safe area now. So you're going to go to View Guides, add new guideline, and let's do the bleed first. So let's change the color to red, and if you add 2 columns, you're going to get a line in the center where the fold of the page is going to be, which is handy. And then you're just going to plug in the margins for the bleed, which, as we saw on the table earlier, is 1.5 millimeters top, left, bottom, and right. So click OK, and then you'll see those guidelines appear. That shows us the guillotine is going to cut your book. So you don't want to trick your brain into thinking you've got that extra visual on your thing. Now we're adding the guideline for the safe area. Change the color to red. Green. And you're going to add the 10 millimeters safe area that we need plus the 1.5 bleed, because it'll do your page setup from the edge. So that'll be 11.5 top, bottom, left, right, and then you can see your safe areas there. Then you can start designing on your page and try and keep text and people's heads outside the safe area. Fast forward, all your work is done and you're ready to export. So click through and you want to export as, and you're going to want to export it to us as a JPEG. So select that. And then these settings should be right. Make sure you've clicked on these 2 settings here. That's how we need to receive your files. And then click through and export. You want to export each page separately and name them according to their page numbers. So 01, 02. You can put your client's name at the front, Nikita's wedding, whatever, so you can keep them separate. But 01, 02 are important for all the page numbers. And then you're done. You should have a few pages ready to pop through to our program. Okay, we're on the home run now. This should be really fast. We're going to go once again to the upload your own calculator page where the empty placeholder is waiting for your album. Now the finishing options are going to go on the screen. I sped through these earlier, but now we're going to take it a bit more slowly one by one and make sure your finishing options are selected, that they're going to come through to the factory so that we can print your book the way you want it. Start with your size, the cover type that you'd like. I love semi-personalized. I don't think you can beat it. Then your cover material, leather, canvas, linen. You'll notice as you click through these thumbnails, the swatches of the material will change, so you have an idea of the different colors that you can get in each of those options. I'm going to choose black. Just make sure the blue line is around the option that you select. Next is stitching color. Do you want your stitching to match the color of the material you chose, or would you like white? I always like that white contrast, so I generally use that. Embossing, that's the leather imprint stamp onto the front or back of the album. I can go through these finishing details in another video. Just write down in the comments if you do want me to talk about or demonstrate anything in particular. Your paper type, I recommend matte luster. And then your paper mount. And here is the kicker. This is where you import your artwork. Once you click this, it's going to launch the editor with empty placeholders to receive your artwork, your double page spreads that you've designed. This one will launch the artwork for you to do that. Launch the editor, sorry. This one is if you don't want to do that and you want some help from us, you can send us your double page spreads JPEGs via WeTransfer or Dropbox or whatever. There is unfortunately a surcharge on that because it's quite a lot of steps and checking from our side, going backwards and forwards with you to make sure that your artwork is perfect. Whereas this, you're going to see it's really quick and easy. The first thing you need to do is type in the number of pages that your album's going to be. And when you're ready, just click import your artwork. That's now launching the editor. As I said, these are all empty placeholders waiting for your artwork. If you are on your last stage now and you're going to just spend 5 minutes in here uploading your artwork, this upload is for temporary files. Next time you log in, they won't be there. But if you want to, you've got 5 minutes spare, you want to make a start on it, and you want your artwork to be there when you get back, you can click on the Albums tab, click Add Gallery, give your gallery a name, load your spreads into there, and then they'll be there for your next session. I've done that because to save time, my spreads are ready to go. Now, as you can see, here's my spreads, 001, 002. They correspond with the right page numbers of the book. First thing to check is, did they load here in the correct order? This editor loads them in the order that you click them. So generally, if you click Control A, they'll come in order, but do just double check, because if they're not, you're going to want to correct that. You don't want pages going in the wrong order. You can see all my spreads here. Let me just make them a bit more visible. But the cover page I've imported just as a photo. If you want to do some work on that image in Photoshop to add the couple's title, if you want that on the cover page, you can do that. But we recommend that you bring your cover picture in just as a photo JPEG and that's what we're going to do first. So drag in the picture that you want to use for your cover. And then I'm just going to use my tools to move it around, grab the compass, move it around, zoom in a bit to get it where I want. I think that's great. Now I might change my mind about the finishing. I thought maybe blue to match his jacket would look really nice there. So I'm just going to click on here. These are my finishing options. So any of those options you had on the previous screen, if you change your mind about anything, you can. So let's just have a look at the navy. It'll give you a sort of visual display of what that'll be. I disagree. I think the black looked better. So I'm just going to go back to the black, and there we are, we're back there. And you can change any of those options, even the cover style you can change. Okay, now the next bit's super quick. We're ready to click on your pages and see this little magical wand down here. That's the autofill button. Because I've double checked that my pages have loaded into the gallery in order, I can just click the one and you can see it's auto-populated my pages. Alternatively, if your pages didn't load in order, you can drag them in one at a time. Page 2, drag them in one at a time. But I recommend the autofill, because if you've named your pages artwork correctly, then it should come through perfectly. So the first thing to check is, does your artwork sit on the page perfectly? And there's a very easy way to do that. Click in on the image. You're looking for that little compass in the middle. You're not really going to be able to see this, but I'm clicking, holding it down and wiggling it, and that thing's not moving. I actually made a dummy one where I made the page setup wrong. This one, click in the middle, I'm clicking, wiggling. Oh no, you can see a wobble. And that means my page setup in Photoshop or whatever program you use wasn't quite correct for our standards. And there's two things you can do there. You can either go back to your original artwork in your design software and put your page set up correctly and redo it, or you can use the eye to check if it's going to be okay. So I've got a nice guideline in the middle of the page there that shows me where the fold is going to be. Ultimate books are butterfly bound, which means all they have is a little sort of fold through the seamless image in the middle of the page, and you might want to bear that in mind as you reposition your image. If you're okay with the fold appearing there, then you've got freedom. You can also zoom, although that will mess with the height, top and bottom, and now you'll be trying to match it up with your eye, which can be not so great. I'd probably just zoom out and choose somewhere. I think that looks nice. I can actually put my fold right in the middle there, and it still looks really good. So that's one way to fix. So then you want to page through. Actually, the next check is click on this little arrow here. It gives you a sort of map of your photo book, of the book in order. And here you'll be able to check, is this the order that it's supposed to be in? And if any of the pages did appear out of order, you can easily click and drag that photo and see that blue line appearing. That's where it's going to drop the image. So you can put it wherever you want if the order didn't appear right, and you can move your book around that way. And all I'm doing now, your job is done now, but all I'm doing now is checking, because you know, we're not going to know if a page is out of order. Only you will know that. So it's really important to just spend the time now. You'd be disappointed if the pages were out of order. So do check. And now I'm just going to press this little preview button up there. It's going to get rid of all the fluff on the page. And I'm going to page through my book and check that I am happy with how everything appears. And it's looking great. Yep, so now all you have to do is click. Just ignore this. The placeholders, ordinarily when you're making a book, you would not ignore this. This would mean there's a placeholder sitting behind something and you should check. But provided you've previewed your book and it looks neat, this just means one of the placeholders that was receiving your files is sitting behind there, but it can't be seen. So just continue anyway. And here we are in the shopping cart. And this is where if you want to order one, say the bride wanted a copy of a book for her mum and dad as well, you're just going to increase the quantity there. You'll see the price update. If you have a voucher, like maybe you got a Black Friday discounted voucher and you want to use that to pay for your book, just type it in there, click apply code, proceed to shipping, and you're done. Well done. We can't wait to receive your order and print it beautifully for you. Thanks a lot.